And welcome to Tuesday mornings with Luann and Tim on TV. Holy snowstorm.
Gosh.
Whoa.
Okay. Was that just 30 centimeters or was that more than
You know
30
what? I
centimeters?
feel
Maybe
like
my
it had
metric
to
is
be.
bad.
Because I went home for lunch and trudged through the snow to get in my front door.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back to work for about an hour, hour and a half, I went back and all of my footprints were filled in. Jim was out snow blowing last night, and he said at least 2 inches fell while he was snow blowing. And then he was out there again this morning because the plows went by, thankfully, because the roads were horrid. But like 3 feet of chunks of ice, and of course.
Is anybody coming around to like clear that out?
Oh gosh, I'm sure they're pretty busy with a whole bunch
of
other.
have a chance to do that.
Like the buses are off the road still for all school boards. In case you're wondering about the kids and stuff, the schools are open, but the buses are not running, and they're just trying to stay out of the way of
and
cleanup.
who else did you say no?
And no garbage pickup.
No garbage pickup today because of the snow.
No, everybody's just trying to manage it,
But that was extraordinary. I mean,
that was
we need to.
crazy.
Yeah, these guys need some time to figure this out.
Absolutely. You know what? It can't. Nobody can be prepared, I think, for that much snow that quickly. Because you know what? By the time I went to bed around 9:30, it had stopped.
I totally jinxed it. I remember just saying the day before this happened, snow.
Yes.
Which would be what, Sunday?
Yes.
Standing outside going, isn't this remarkable?
And this morning, it's like 1 already.
I think it was Sunday night, actually, because we just finished the auditions for Shrek, and I'm standing in the parking lot going, isn't this crazy? Like, this is January.
It's so
what
nice.
a great winter. And then I said, I thought we were supposed to get snow this weekend. I guess it's not happening. Oh.
Well, I guess it did.
Holy mother. And to top it off, I'll tell the truth. Okay, so last night I took a muscle relaxant and I fell asleep. But before I thought I was falling asleep for the night, I thought I was just falling asleep. I thought I was watching TV. Is what I thought I was doing. I wasn't watching TV. Apparently, I was falling asleep for the whole night, just after 8 o'clock. Didn't think so until I woke up at 7:20 this morning because I never set my alarm.
He was really relaxed.
Because I didn't think I was 7:20. I'm normally here at 7. I woke up at 7:20.
I hate that.
I yell, Bowser! He says, just get dressed. I'll get the driveway. And I said, the driveway? You were out snow blowing all night last night.
Like
he
what's
said,
going
the
on?
plow went by.
Yeah,
So
Jim
then
did our driveway, he did our neighbor's driveway, he did our other neighbor's driveway. He said if they try to get out, they're not going to be able to.
No, that's when I arrived. I arrived
snow.
in the kitchen, look out the window, and he's in his pajama pants and boots, shoveling it so I can get the car out. But you raise a good point, though. If you have an elderly neighbor or somebody, maybe this would be a really great day to either help them out, or if you know somebody to help them out, get out of their driveway. Because there's no way. I mention this all the time. We have neighbors in our neighborhood who are original owners of their homes, built in the 1950s. There's no way these widows can get out there and shovel that and clear that out. One of them pays for clearing, but you never know. Again, like how long is it going to take people who are doing clearing to
Exactly. Unless you hire a kid down the street, right, who's just doing your driveway, chances are they're doing several.
Find a kid who normally rides a school bus because they're not going to school today, and hire them to shovel your driveway. Ta-da! Everybody wins.
Just entice them and tell them it's lunch money.
Right.
You can have French fries with gravy at school.
And while they're out there, give them math problems just so it'll feel like they're actually in school.
Yeah, you'll get them lined up at your house to help.
Ow, I just stepped on my microphone. Okay. Have you ever gone on vacation and had a flight canceled?
Delayed, not canceled.
Oh my gosh. WestJet. Now
I'm sorry, I'm lying. We did. We had to stay overnight one night in Toronto, coming back from Sandals.
Oh, you were in Toronto when you stayed.
Yes.
So you didn't make it home to the Sioux.
No, right.
These people were in Cancun. WestJet flight. They got to the airport at 10, and they got on their plane, and they sat on the tarmac until 4:30. 4 hours on the tarmac in the plane.
I don't think that should be legal.
4 hours on it. What if you had a kid?
What if you had to pee? Sometimes they don't let you stand up.
What if you're thirsty?
Yeah.
What if you're hungry? 4 hours. I'd be hungry.
Get the door open. I'm jumping off this thing.
They got off the plane at 4:30, and we're told the flight was canceled.
After sitting there for 4 hours?
It gets worse.
3
hours later at 7:15, they're put on a bus and told they're going to a downtown hotel. They arrive and they're dropped off on a dark side street.
Oh, no.
The hotel didn't know they were coming. An entire plane full of people didn't know they were coming.
I'd be so
They
mad.
wanted payment up front for the rooms. How many of you have money left over at the end of a vacation, or even space on your credit card? Really?
Oh my word.
Payment up front.
They never want payment up front.
And when they got their payment, then they discovered that they just didn't have enough rooms for everybody.
Oh,
and other
this
people,
is horrible.
other people whose cell phones had died, and who had no way, had to find other hotels and book themselves in and get there in taxis and then get back to the airport the next. Can you imagine? What a way to end your vacation.
When mine was canceled and I had to stay overnight, we got to the hotel at 2:30 in the morning and had to get up at 5 to catch the plane. So we laid down for 2.5 hours in a hotel. That, you know, ridiculous. Seriously. Stay at the airport, lay down there.
Stay right there. Once I went to Cuba, and it was a horrible resort. First of all, it was way down in the south, I think southwest part of the island. The rumor had it that it used to be a prison, or like a camp where they put people, and the buildings got turned into motel rooms, and all the little, because they were all different bungalows, right? I don't know if that's true, but it was nasty. On the first night there, we were running around on the beach, and I ran into the volleyball net by accident.
Oh!
Yeah, and when I fell, though, the way that I fell, I ended up hitting my knee on the ground, and it wasn't just beach, it was like cement under sand. They had they just put sand over cement, and that was the beach.
Well, they didn't want to mow the lawn at the prison.
Chipped the bone in my knee.
Really?
So then I had a big scab and a chipped bone, and it was really sore. And so about 2 days later, and the pool was empty.
What?
And they were using garden hoses to fill the pool.
Stop
I'm not even kidding you. Garden hoses to fill the pool.
I want my money back.
We were all like lying there but there's pictures of us lying on the bottom of the pool with the water trickling over our shoulders, waiting for it to fill back up again. They had more than one garden hose, but it was still a garden hose. And then
That's ridiculous.
No, so then after about 2 days, this one lady said, "Oh, your knee looks bad. You should go in the ocean." I'm like, "Well, it's a long way to the beach." And she said, "It'd be faster to go to the ocean and wait for the pool to fill up." So she had a point. So I hobbled down and I stepped on a sea urchin in the water on my right foot. So now I had a chip bone on my left knee and
needles in your
one guy leaned on his sink and his sink broke and it cut his arm, and they left him a $10 bill for the sink to be repaired. A lady took one of the scooters into the village and the brakes didn't go. She hit a wall. She broke her leg.
Oh my gosh.
She couldn't fly out, and all they had they had Tylenols for her. She took 2, and then they ran out of ice. They said, "We have no más hielo, no más hielo, no more ice." I broke into the ice shack, me with my bad knee, and I climbed over they put me through the vent hole in the ice shack to get ice for her, for the lady from Montreal could get ice for her knee, and they wanted to charge her 2 seats to fly her home.
Did you go back?
No, but here's what happened when we took off. The company, that was with Canada 3000, was that the name of it? They've gone under. Surprisingly, Canada 2000, Canada 3. Anyway, it was one of those all-inclusive vacations with an airline that's now defunct.
Right.
They hadn't paid their bills to the Cuban government. They wouldn't give it. We had to land inland Cuba because it was one of those situations where the runway was too short for a full tank of gas to take off.
What?
So you had to take off with a partial tank of gas.
For goodness sake.
They wouldn't let us fuel up because they didn't pay their money.
How long ago was that?
1990. I'm going to say 1993, maybe.
So do you think that would happen to you today with the availability of research and the internet?
Probably not, because they were saying that the company was in negotiations with the Cuban government to try to get us permission to take off, and they came out with armed guards and they surrounded our plane with armed guards on the runway in Cuba until it was negotiated, and we sat in no air conditioning.
Oh gosh.
And then we took off, and they took us. Then the stewardess came on and she said, "Does anybody have any extra leftover American currency?" They wanted us to chip in to help buy fuel for the plane.
Beer run.
So somebody took all our one of the passengers took all of our email addresses, and there's the lady with the broken leg, swearing in French, took all of our addresses, and we got half our money back. Only half.
Only half. Have you been back to Cuba since? And much better
Well, only went to the tourist places like Veradero.
Right, so that's...
This was not one of those. This was
so that's the key, right? Go to the main...
Go where everybody else goes.
Well, you know what? Yeah, go with other people.
Is my microphone still there? It feels like it's falling down my shirt.
No.
Okay, fine.
No, it's just tickling you. The wire is tickling you.
Sorry,
Big night tonight for TV.
Why?
The president is going to speak to us.
Did he get the airtime?
He got it.
All 4 major networks?
I believe so.
Why?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say.
It's a State of the Union address?
No, it's not officially.
Oval Office.
Addressing the nation with regards to...
I heard he was asking for 9 minutes or so.
Yes, and in our newscast, I have a story with a reporter from CP who's talking about how he's looking at different pockets in departments of the government to find money. And,
For the wall.
It's looking like he might be tapping into the military budget.
He does that by declaring a state of emergency?
Yes.
If he declares a state of emergency and nobody can stop him from doing that?
Nobody. No.
Then he can say, now we're going to redirect funds to that from military defense, right?
He could be off his banana and nobody can say to him, you can't do that.
Unless they challenge him through the court system, which will take time, and they can stop him, or they can get a, what do you call, injunction?
Right.
They can probably get an injunction to stop it from happening.
Meanwhile, 800,000 people are not working or not getting paid or both.
Right.
It's like, what? Unbelievable.
And 100,000 of those 800,000 make less than $50,000 a year.
But he can relate to them, right?
Which means, like me, they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't have a job for a month and I didn't have anything else, I'd be dead. I'd be not dead, but I'd be a mess. I'd be a mess.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Just no paychecks for a month.
And it's and then
pay your bills.
You know, they asked him on the weekend, can you relate? And he said, absolutely, I can relate to people who have to worry about their next paycheck.
He has golden toilets in Trump Tower.
His dad gave him a little loan to get started of $1 million.
And then he funneled more in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a disaster.
Yeah, it's just a
Sarah
disaster.
Huckabee Sanders was out there, and she was on Fox News, of all people. Fox.
Yeah, they nailed her.
They nailed her. She said 4,000 terrorists and gang members have been stopped at the southern border because, and we need more, it's a very vulnerable place, and that's 4,000 of them have been caught. And the guy from Fox News said, Sarah,
I researched this.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
I know this. He was funny.
Yeah.
I know this. I didn't think I'd have to use this because I didn't know you were going to call up that stat, but I happen to know this. Those 4,000 people were caught in airports. To which she replied,
said, well, sea, air.
Air, land, and sea. I didn't say just land. Air, land, and sea. He said, no, but those are airports. She said, but some can get in on land, and so it's a very vulnerable spot.
It's very, very vulnerable.
We
are not vulnerable here on Mornings with Luann and Tim, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back with so much information. It'll be flabbergasting.
Mind blown.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim. Now, the reason I'm sitting here all alone is because I'm going to interview a series. This is the debut of a series of interviews that Alex Parr has done for ONNtv. Alex has a show on ONNtv called Game On. It has a sports focus, but this is for the Special Olympics, so we think that's the focus that interests everyone in Sault Ste. Marie. The Special Olympics are coming to Sault Ste. Marie the very end of this month. Just before Bon Sault starts, we're having the Special Olympics. 500 athletes will be converging upon the city with all of their families and friends and trainers, and we have local athletes participating as well. It's an entire 3-day event. I believe it's 3 days. And we're still looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can look for the Special Olympics Winter Games online, Sault Ste. Marie, and you'll find some volunteer forms there. You could actually call, if you were to call, I bet you if you were to call and ask for Bolio, that's his last name, and he is good. What's his ranking? Good, less than sergeant. He's what's an average police officer? Constable Bolio. Ask for Constable Bolio through the OPP or the city police. OPP. Anyway, volunteer for the Special Olympics. Now we're going to be interviewing athletes from snowshoeing, from curling, from downhill skiing, and from cross-country skiing. Those are the 4 events that we have athletes from Sault Ste. Marie participating in. So Alex has gone out into the field and he's conducted interviews with the athletes and sometimes with the entire teams. And every Tuesday from now until the end of the month, just before the opening ceremonies, we're going to feature on ONNtv's Mornings with Luann and Tim, and also on Game On with Alex, those interviews with our local Special Olympics Winter Games athletes. So to kick things off, Alex went down to the curling rink and he conducted an interview there, and we're going to enjoy that right now. So when we come back from the interview, we'll be having banter with Luann and I, then the news, and then a guest also from Clean North talking about chipping your Christmas trees. If they're still kicking around, we've got news for you about that as well. So first of all, enjoy this interview with Alex Parr from ONNtv's Game On and the curlers from the Special Olympics coming up at the end of this month. Here you go.
My name is Krista Bonfont and I'm representing Sault Ste. Marie.
I'm Chevy Harmon and I'm representing Sault Ste. Marie.
I'm Nathan and I'm representing Sault Ste. Marie.
My name's George Shortran, Roland Shortran, and I'm representing Sault Ste. Marie.
Curling's a fun game. There's not many winter sports here to participate in, and I like the winter sports much better than summer sports anyway. Since I'm the skip, the best part of being the skip is that I get to assess like everybody's individual skills, and from there I get to try and do my best to use their skills to help the team do the best that it can.
Been practicing hard and they really enjoy it, and as long as they have fun, that's what counts.
It'll be fun, definitely. I wouldn't say I'm too excited because you don't want to get too excited, because then if you lose or whatever, then you get heartbroken.
On a scale from 1 to 10, 50,000.
Well, I'm really excited because we have a lot of people in Sault Ste. Marie who are cheering us on. A lot of people all over the world. A lot of people I know.
Very much. I love curling and it's going to be great to be playing in front of my family, my friends. I'm hoping to see some of my aunts and uncles and my cousins.
Pretty much anybody here in Sault Ste. Marie. Brad Jacobs would be the best because he's already won a gold medal at the Olympics. So having him cheer us on would probably bring a lot of morale to our team.
Well, of course, Brad Jacobs, our mayor, and all of the first responders that we have. Also, Sioux Greyhounds.
I would love if the whole town could come out, but obviously most of the town has jobs and they can't make it. So anybody who can make it out here that can would be perfect.
That we win and that we go next year at Thunder Bay.
For me, personally, to do the best I can.
Oh, just to have fun. That's pretty much what Special Olympics is all about. It's not supposed to be about winning or losing. It's just having fun with everybody else out there.
So I've been thinking about this.
Oh gosh.
Can you tell that I woke up late and I'm rather frazzled today? I don't think it's a good idea to call the police station and ask for Constable Beaulieu. That's probably just a bad idea. He's not even there. He's seconded right now. He's working for the Special Olympics. I don't even think he's in that office. If you want to volunteer for the Special Olympics, go online. Go online, Google Special Olympics, Winter Olympics, Sault Ste. Marie. Do it that way. Don't call the police. Because then I'm going to get in trouble.
They're going to be mad at him.
It's,
Oh, maybe you should call.
oh, stop. I'll end up in police beat.
Yay. Police beat.
People
Mr.
always say,
Tim
how are
Murphy.
you, Tim? I say, well, I look in the paper. As long as I'm not in obituaries or police beat, I'm fine.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, what you got?
Beyonce shops at Target.
Does she really?
Can you imagine?
What would you do if you were walking through Target and suddenly Beyonce's there?
And there's a picture of her, like yeah, twerking.
I like this.
Yeah, twerking. You know what?
Does Beyonce twerk?
I think she twerks.
I don't know.
I think Beyonce does a lot more than twerking.
Beyonce can
That girl
sing.
can. I think Beyonce invented moves.
She can sing,
with
she can
her
act, she can dance.
pelvis.
I
yeah.
like her.
Yeah, but she's in Target. Her heels are like this high. She's got sunglasses on. She's stunning in a sort of a pale orange glittery jumpsuit. I'm just shopping at Target.
Looking at your average Target shopper. Actually, I did see somebody in Walmart wearing
And
that
her
very
butt crack
same
was
outfit.
showing.
her butt crack showing? Is that true?
Yeah, no.
Oh. Who's she married to? Sean Combs. No. Who? Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah, you're not allowed to talk. You're so good.
He is very good.
It's Garrett. Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Yeah.
Who's married to Sean Combs?
P. Diddy. I don't know.
You don't know? P. Diddy's wife, Mrs. Diddy. Mrs. P.
Kevin Spacey was having a bad day yesterday.
Oh, I saw him in court looking very uncomfortable. He was arraigned.
But had a little, not a smirk, but I think realizing that there was a camera in the room and being an actor, he had a demeanor about him, I found, where he was trying not to look like he was smirking, but he was also trying to not look like he was afraid and petrified,
Didn't
because
wanna
I'm
look
sure
guilty.
he was. But then he leaves Massachusetts, flies back to Washington, D.C., leaves the airport, gets a speeding ticket on his way.
No way.
Yeah, he's driving along, police pull him over, speeding ticket, he gets the whole schmear, and the passenger is his lawyer.
No.
Kev, you're the man.
That lawyer did. I wasn't impressed by that lawyer. Did you see the arraignment?
Some of it, yeah.
You know what I was doing? You know how he's had that demeanor?
Yeah.
I was watching his Adam's apple. I'll tell you why. Because when people get nervous or they lie, they swallow. Or there's a constricted throat.
Yeah.
So as much as you're trying to keep your face relaxed,
Yeah.
there might be tension. And I was watching. It's like, oh yeah, he's constricted.
Yeah.
He's tense. He's tense.
He should be.
He should be.
He should be, absolutely.
You have the news coming up.
Yes. We
And
have
then
lots of local
Clean
news.
North Abby's here from Clean
Yes!
North. And it's
She's
more
lovely.
than, we're talking about more than tree chipping. We're talking about lots of stuff that Clean North does and about reusing, reducing, and recycling. So stay with us. Luann has the news right after this.
We'll be back. Stay with us on Mornings with Luann and Tim. He's Tim.
She's Luann. That ship's not going through today.
Busy morning for us, and we're so glad that you're staying with Mornings with Luann and Tim on TV. Shrek. Wow.
We had the auditions Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, every time I do this, every time I cast a show, I'm always...
He's directing it, by the way.
You think you get used to the amount of talent you have in Sault Ste. Marie. No, you never get used to it because there's always new people showing up that just blow you away. The young girls that came out for Young Fiona, for the little girl who has to sing in the show.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Really?
Some new adults that have come, people who've moved here from Toronto, from the East Coast, all coming, getting involved in community theater, auditioning for. So one guy auditioning for his first time. He's actually, I want to just say, his last name is Fott, so he is the cousin of Sergeant Fott that we named the field after?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the veteran who was killed in the Afghan War, right? Anyway, his cousin auditioned.
Wow.
Never auditioned before in his life. Never sang or danced on stage, and he's singing and he's dancing.
Really?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
You extended the cast. Or are going to?
I did, because we wanted to cast 26 or 27 people. That was the ideal. I'm going to have close to, I think I got 46 in this show.
Awesome.
Over 70 people auditioned, and when they're all so brilliant, what do? I mean, you can't just say, sorry. I mean, it was too good to say no to. And even the people we had to say no to, it was all about logistics. We don't have enough costumes or microphones or somebody, you're casting heights and stuff. And anyway, because the costumes.
I'm going to blow your mind when I come and audition.
Oh. Literally, I could have cast this show 3 times over. There was that much talent. And because we teach the song at the audition, right? And we're teaching harmonies, Luann. We teach sopranos sing this, altos, tenors, basses. It's all harmony. And they have to sing it, learn it, and maintain it. Because that's the thing I look for, is whether you can hold a harmony in your head.
Yes.
It was a couple of auditions. We all just sat there. This wall of sound came at us. In a matter of an hour and a half, it was a musical number that could have been on a stage somewhere. The voices were that great.
Wow.
So
that's phenomenal.
It's going to be an amazing show.
I think you need to get a little more excited about it.
I'm heartbroken for the people that I couldn't use in this show, and I just keep saying, just because you didn't get this one, don't stop. Keep singing, and we really need to start something like a choir in Sault Ste. Marie, where you can just come out for the fun of it, and you learn a song and you sing it. Kevin, I believe, tried that with our friend Barbara Ranjevich at one time, and it really should go. I mean, it's a great way to get together and have fun with music.
Well, because people who sing just love to sing, you know?
Yeah.
And even if you can't sing like myself, you can hum. Although I'm sure I hum off key. I'm sure.
I've told you, you sing in pitch. You're silly.
Pitch.
Yes, you sell yourself short. We make jokes about your singing, but I believe you could actually sing. Oh, wouldn't that be an episode? To have you spend half an hour with a singing teacher. And then see what happens.
My stomach would hurt. I'd be throwing up. Seriously, because I'd be so nervous.
Well, that opens the vocal cords. There you go.
That's one way of looking at it, I suppose.
Did you have something to talk about? I'm sorry, I jumped in.
You know what? Kim Kardashian.
Oh, of course.
She's like, I know, but like, it's so funny because remember when she went to talk to the U.S. president about clemency for this young girl who, when she was 16, was forced into a slave sexual relationship and actually killed a real estate agent during one of the incidents, according to her, of course. And Kim went and talked to the Donald and said, hey, man, you got to check it out. Got to get her out of there. So now she given clemency yesterday or the day before.
I saw that.
And apparently Kim is getting bombarded with emails.
Positive?
Everybody wants all the prisoners.
Wants her jail.
All the prisoners are emailing her. Yeah, so I was in here and I was thinking maybe that you could. They're calling her the Princess of Clemency. And as soon as they said princess, she went, I like that.
So is this gonna be like a cause for her now that she's gonna
think so. No, she's entirely too busy for that.
Do you know what I started watching? You know what I was watching last night? What I was watching last night when I fell asleep, thinking I was going to watch this entire show and then fall asleep, it was the latest episodes from Making a Murderer. You haven't seen that on Netflix?
No.
That's the one about the guy who spent 18 years in jail for murdering somebody, and then they checked his DNA and it wasn't him, and he was released. But then a woman did get murdered and ended up, her car was on his property, and it turns out that he and his nephew admitted to killing her and like burning her and stuff in the fire pit and stuff, and her car was found on their property. And the guy's saying, no, I was framed because he was suing the government for wrongful imprisonment for 18 for like millions of dollars, and what they're saying is this was retribution from the police force for him making them look bad. So they planted the evidence, they planted the car, and they killed the lady.
Oh, he sounds.
So it's Making a Murderer on Netflix, and I don't know what happened because I fell asleep because of my.
You know what? That sounds like right up my alley. I love stuff like that.
Do you have Netflix?
I do.
Okay, Making a Murderer, because it gives
Making a Murderer,
and it gives you the whole background.
Awesome.
Beforehand. Okay, we have to go.
Yes, you do.
Because there's an interview coming up with Abby from Clean North, and we were talking in the green room. Well, how appropriate that it was the green room, and she's Abby from Clean North. Green. Really interesting stuff coming up. You're not going to want to miss this.
That was a stretch. Can I just say?
Don't judge me.
Green.
We'll be right back.
She's lovely. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Mornings with Lou Ann and Tim. Abby, good morning.
Good morning.
Clean North.
Yes.
How long have you been with Clean North?
I've volunteered with Clean North on and off for a long time.
Long time, many years.
I've really kind of kicked it up a notch in the last few years.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of Clean North?
Yes, so
Thanks.
Clean North has been around since 1989, got charitable status in 91, and has been working on providing leadership for recycling, reusing, anything green in Sault Ste. Marie ever since.
Okay, so what sort of initiatives, you have the tree chipping?
Yes.
That's the one we're talking about today.
Right. Yeah. So the tree chipping is a really big project of Clean North's and one that is, I think, really important. Been doing this since the early 1990s. We estimate that well over 100,000 trees have been prevented from going into the Sault Ste. Marie landfill, which is really important because at the time that we started the tree chipping project back in the early 90s, the city estimated there were only 10 years left in the landfill.
Oh,
and now it's been
I remember that, hearing there were only 10 years left.
And now it's been almost 30, which is great. Christmas trees are big, they're bulky, and they can be reused. There's no reason
need for them to be in the landfill.
So right away, people of Sault Ste. Marie, fantastic. Somebody I spoke with who was with Clean North back then said that they estimated that 80 to 90% of the Christmas trees were going to the tree chipping instead of into the landfill almost right away, which is fantastic. And yeah, we've been doing it ever since.
And so now after the trees are chipped, so you bring your tree to, we should get this correct, you bring your tree to the parking lot of the Cambrian Mall.
Yes, the northwest corner of Cambrian Mall. You can drop your tree off 24/7.
Really?
Yes.
Night or day?
Yeah, night or day. If you need help getting it off your car, it's better to come in the middle of the day. More likely to be a volunteer there to help you get it off your car.
All volunteer, man?
All volunteer. We have no paid staff.
Whoa.
And in fact, Clean North is a great organization to volunteer for. We have helped many, many students get their volunteer hours.
40 volunteer hours necessary to graduate.
And some get way more than that. When my older son graduated from high school, he had 320 volunteer hours.
I'm going to point something out to people who may not realize this. Just because you're required to get 40 volunteer hours doesn't mean you need to stop there. If you're looking for scholarships, if you're looking for any kind of, it looks great on a resume, it looks great on a college or university application. The more volunteer hours you put in, the more they will consider you, because you obviously have a civic responsibility, a sense of pride in your community, and you volunteerism, and it's a great asset.
You know, volunteering for Clean North is something you can feel really good about, because you are volunteering to help make Sault Ste. Marie a cleaner, greener place, and that's really important. I'd like to mention that in addition to Christmas trees, we are also taking towels and blankets for the Humane Society.
We have the Humane Society on the show every Friday, and we like to remind people that they can always use sheets, towels, blankets.
I collected a bunch at my workplace last month and dropped them off.
Nice.
We're also taking books, magazines for the Friends of the Library.
Friends of the Library. Yes.
Nice. What we are not taking this year is styrofoam. The city doesn't have a place for styrofoam to go anymore, so we're not accepting styrofoam. That's something that people have brought to us in the past or at tree chipping time. Unfortunately, the city is recommending that it go into the landfill, which we think is unfortunate. We'd really like to not see styrofoam go into the landfill.
So is it strictly a maybe I'm putting you on the spot, but do you think it's strictly a financial thing for Sault Ste. Marie not to be able to provide the styrofoam disposal, and also why we're not doing plastics 5 and 6s?
I think it's complicated. That's really a question for the city to answer, but I think that it can be challenging to get access to markets for recycled material.
Okay.
And Sault Ste. Marie's in the north. We have a small market.
Right.
You know, it's just, if you live in Toronto, it's much easier to get these things off to the right markets. But
the other thing I'd like to see in Sault Ste. Marie is composting, the green bins.
Yes.
Because I've read that I could be wrong, don't quote me on this, but my stats were like something like 55% of what's going into the landfill really doesn't need to be there, and a lot of that is compostable material. Eggshells, carrots, all those kinds of things that could be used in gardening.
Yep.
But it is tricky again.
Yes. Clean North sells composters, and it is possible to compost. No, sorry, we don't sell composters. I'm thinking of rain barrels. But it's very easy. You can actually find online, it's very easy to make a composter. And you can buy them locally as well. And
If you're a gardener or if you know somebody who gardens.
It's crazy to put organic matter into the landfill because it's fantastic. Turning it into compost, it's fantastic fertilizer. Fantastic.
Hey, and the wood chips that you have, what people use it for? Let's talk about what the uses of the chipping from the tree. How many people use those?
Mulch. We chip it into garden mulch. So we start collecting trees the day after Christmas. We collect through. We're collecting through this Saturday.
What's the date this Saturday?
Is it the 12th?
Okay, so right up until this Saturday, you can bring your trees, no charge. You show up 24/7. If you need help, go during the days when there are volunteers there. Okay.
And then first thing Sunday morning, they're going to chip it into mulch. If you're interested in getting mulch now, you can drop by Cambrian Mall Sunday morning and pick some up.
Okay.
Or we have two major drop-off or giveaway events in the gardening season.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Where do you store it all?
It is stored at Lemieux Composting.
Thank you, Lemieux.
Yes, thank you, Lemieux. And one of the giveaway events is at Algoma University in June, and the other one is at Lemieux in August.
So wait a second. The one at Algoma University, does Lemieux actually bring trucks of the mulch, or somebody brings truckloads of the mulch?
Yeah, they come and dump a big pile, and
that is so cool.
It's handy because Algoma U has a community garden. And,
right on.
And it's just a good location.
I have rhododendrons and I have azaleas, and I'll tell you, there are certain plants that like acidic soil. So whenever I get, if I trim my evergreens or my acidic plants, I put them underneath the plant on the ground. So this is great if you have those kinds of plants. Use this particular Christmas tree mulch, and your plants are going to love you for it. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was volunteering. If people want to get involved, as you said, it's a huge volunteer effort. How do they find you?
So we have a website and blog, and we've really been beefing up our blog. We hope that people will come check out some of the posts. We're putting up a lot of information about reducing, reusing, and recycling. And in addition to that, we also have a Facebook page. So please find us on Facebook and like our page, and that will help you keep up to date on our events.
Amazing. And we like to pride ourselves here in Sault Ste. Marie as being the green capital of the world or whatever. So you can contribute.
Yes.
Get yourself a composter for your little kitchen counter. Save your stuff, and you can use it in your gardens. Bring your Christmas tree in. Bring your blankets. Bring your books in. Don't bring your styrofoam in. Volunteer. And also, rain barrels I use. Great idea. At your water spout.
Why pay for water if you don't have to?
Why exactly? I water my lawn. I water my gardens with my downspout.
Fantastic.
Abby, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Come back again sometime.
I would love to.
Okay, we'll be back with Luann on Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this short commercial message. There's an overhead shot of all the trees that we're going to chip. Clean North, they do such amazing. Do you know why they were formed? They were formed actually because we didn't have a blue bin program in Sault Ste. Marie, and they got together to advocate for that. And look at us now.
Yeah, they are taking charge.
Good for them.
Isn't that awesome?
Thank you, Clean North.
And so many good volunteers. Absolutely.
Right on.
You did a good job today.
Hey, not for coming in late. I'll be here tomorrow on time.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning.